Once upon a time, the NBA was the ultimate underdog story. Kids from tough neighborhoods, grinding on local blacktop courts, dreaming of getting their families out of poverty. Think Allen Iverson, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant, guys who got it out the mud. But what if I told you that dream is fading today? The NBA is looking more like a rich kids club. From Bronny James to half the Team USA U17 squad being sons of NBA players, the league's future stars are increasingly coming from wealth, privilege, and elite training. So, what's going on? Is basketball losing its gritty, meritocratic soul? And is this shift making the game better or breaking its heart? Buckle up, because we're diving deep into why the NBA is becoming a rich man's sport, and whether it's a fair trade-off. Let's get into it. If you're an NBA fan, you've probably noticed the chatter around Bronny James. Is he in the league because of talent or because he's LeBron's son? But this isn't just about Bronny, it's about a bigger trend. The NBA used to be a league of scrappy underdogs, kids from rough backgrounds who clawed their way to the top. Think about guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who went from selling CDs on the streets of Athens to MVP, or Anthony Edwards, who grew up in Atlanta's toughest neighborhoods. That get it out the mud story was the NBA's heartbeat. But now, more and more prospects are coming from upper-class families with access to pro trainers, elite AAU programs, and private high schools. Half the Team USA U17 team is made up of NBA players' sons. So what's driving this shift? Is the NBA becoming like hockey or baseball, sports where money and access often trump raw talent? And does this mean the end of the underdog story, or is it just the price of a better basketball product? In this video, we're breaking down the 5 key reasons why the NBA is turning into a rich kid sport, and we'll tackle the big question: is this a problem or just progress? Stick around to the end for my hot take on what this means for the future of the game. Let's dive in. Section 1: the rise of elite training. First up, let's talk about training. Back in the day, NBA players honed their skills on public courts or in school gyms. Michael Jordan was out there shooting on a hoop in his backyard, but today, the game's changed. Top prospects have access to professional trainers, sports scientists, and private facilities before they're even in high school. Take Bronny James, he's been working with LeBron's trainers since he was a kid. Same goes for players like Keon Anthony, Carmelo's son, or the sons of Dwayne Wade and Gilbert Arenas, who are dominating youth circuits. These kids aren't just playing pickup, they're getting personalized workouts, nutrition plans, and film analysis at age 12 that costs serious money. A single session with a top trainer can run $100, $200, and that's not counting travel, equipment, or recovery tools like cryotherapy. For a kid from a low-income family, that's a pipe dream. Meanwhile, wealthy families can afford to give their kids a head start, and it shows. The talent level in the NBA is higher than ever. Players are bigger, faster, and more skilled. But the price is that kids without those resources are getting left behind. Section 2: the AAU and prep school pipeline. Reason number 2: the AAU and prep school pipeline. If you want to make it to the NBA today, AAU basketball is almost mandatory. These elite travel teams play in national tournaments, get scouted by colleges, and expose players to NBA coaches. But here's the catch: AAU isn't cheap. Registration fees, travel costs, and gear can run thousands of dollars a season. Top programs like Team Melo or the Oakland Soldiers often cover costs for their stars. But getting on those teams in the first place usually requires connections or early exposure, things wealthier families can leverage. Then there's the prep school circuit. Schools like Sierra Canyon, where Bronny and Zaire Wade played, or IMG Academy cost upwards of $50,000 a year. These schools aren't just about education, they're basketball factories with state-of-the-art facilities and coaches who have NBA connections. Compare that to a public high school in a low-income area, where the gym might not even have air conditioning. Kids from regular backgrounds are competing against players who've been groomed in these elite systems since middle school. Section 3. The NBA Legacy Factor. Let's talk about the legacy factor. The NBA is seeing a wave of second-generation players, sons of former pros who are now prospects. Think Bronny James, Keyon Anthony, or even lesser-known names like Jabari Carter, son of Vince Carter. Half the Team USA U17 roster in 2024 had NBA dads. Why is this happening? For one, genetics athleticism often runs in families. But more importantly, these kids grow up with unparalleled access. They're around NBA players, coaches, and facilities from birth. They're not just learning the game, they're living it. This isn't to say these players aren't talented. Many are legit prospects. But their path is smoother. They don't have to fight for exposure or scramble for resources. Compare that to a kid from a rough neighborhood who's got raw talent, but no connections. The legacy kids have a built-in advantage, and as more NBA players' sons enter the league, it's starting to feel like a family business. That's a far cry from the days when guys like Dennis Rodman or Charles Barkley came from nowhere and shocked the world. Section 4. The cost of a better product. Host with highlights of modern NBA stars. Now, let's address the trade-off. There's no denying that the NBA's talent level is insane right now. Players like Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are doing things we've never seen before. The game is faster, more skilled, and more exciting. Part of that is because of the elite training and systems we've talked about. Kids with access to pro-level coaching from a young age are coming into the league ready to dominate. But here's the question, is it worth it? The NBA's becoming like hockey or baseball, where wealth and access play a huge role. In hockey, you need money for ice time and equipment. In baseball, travel teams and private coaches are the norm. Basketball used to be different. It was the everyman sport, where all you needed was a ball and a hoop. But as the game professionalizes, it's pricing out the kids who made it special. The underdog story, guys like Giannis or Iverson, is becoming rarer. Is that a fair price for a flashier product, or are we losing the soul of the game? Section 5. The cultural impact. Finally, let's talk culture. The NBA's underdog narrative has always been a huge part of its appeal. Fans love rooting for the kid who came from nothing, who represents their own struggles. When LeBron talks about growing up in Akron or Giannis shares his immigrant story, it resonates. But as more players come from privilege, that connection could fade. If the NBA becomes a league of rich kids and legacy players, will fans still see themselves in the game? On the flip side, the NFL has managed to keep its everyman appeal, even with rising costs. Players like Brock Purdy, an undrafted free agent, or Cooper Kupp from a small college still break through. The NBA's structure fewer roster spots, more focus on stars makes those stories harder to come by. And with social media amplifying the rich kid narrative, fans are starting to notice. Just look at the Bronny James discourse. Some fans love him, others call him a product of nepotism. It's a debate that's only going to grow as the league changes. Here's my hot take. The NBA's rich kid problem is a warning sign. The league's talent is at an all-time high, but if basketball becomes a sport where only the wealthy can compete, we're going to lose what makes it special. The underdog story isn't just a feel-good narrative, it's the heart of the NBA. The league needs to invest in grassroots programs, public courts, and opportunities for kids from all backgrounds. If they don't, we might end up with a flashier product, but a less relatable one. What do you think? Is the NBA's shift toward privilege a problem, or is it just the cost of progress? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more NBA breakdowns. We've got more hot topics coming your way, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.